What's up everyone, this is FP Sticks bringing you some Go Battle League battles here in the Ultra Premier Classic Cup, and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing the team that was able to take me to Veteran here in the Go Battle League. This is a very solid meta team with Trevenant and Walrein as a very solid core, and then Ampharos running Brutal Swing as kind of the pivot Pokemon in this team. I was running Ampharos with Thunder Punch and Brutal Swing, but I now think that Focus Blast and Brutal Swing is the way to go. Thunder Punch is just barely more energy efficient than Brutal Swing in neutral scenarios, and it's kind of nice to have a nuke move with Ampharos and something that you can hit for super effective damage against the Steel types or Snorlax as well. So this team provided me with a good amount of wins, and I was able to climb through Veteran with it. So let's jump into these battles. Let me know down in the comments what team you've been enjoying in this cycle of Go Battle League. I've been trying some different stuff out, but especially in Ultra Premier Classic, there's some wild team comps that have been showcased so far. So out comes Walrein. I do have a lot of energy loaded on my Trevenant here, so I will shield that up. I have back-to-back Seed Bombs here. I do know that Trevenant wins the CMP tie, and if you look at the IVs on my screen there, this is a Trevenant that is eligible for Ultra Premier Classic. It is non-XL, which is why the IVs are so high on this. You can't power it up past level 40 if you want to be able to use it in this cup format. I do have a higher leveled Trevenant that I'm still working on trying to get the XL candy to run in Open Ultra League, but this Trevenant really has had a lot of play. And Aggron, what in the world? I was very surprised when I saw this, but those smackdowns are really adding up here. I'm just going to go straight for the Shadow Ball. I know Aggron is pretty bulky, and Trevenant is definitely not, so I have to shield this up. They have a Venusaur in the back, so I'm wondering if this is an Ultra League adaptation of like Bastiodon and then Double Grass in the back. So I'm just staying in with my Trevenant and doing as much chip damage as possible. The Aggron is so low that pretty much anything on my team can handle it at this point. Obviously, Aggron is a really solid response to all of the Charizard and Walrein that we've seen in the meta, so pretty unique pick from my opponent. I can't believe they got to a Frenzy Plant there, really unfortunate. I have to go down 2 shields very early on. But they do end up bringing the Aggron back in. I farm up a bunch of energy here, gonna throw an Icicle Spear, and they let it go. In the back is a Shadow Machamp with 2 shields. This is very scary. So I get 1 shield there, and they allow me to reach another Icicle Spear here, which is really good. And because they let that through, and they threw on poor fast move timing here, I'm able to sneak a Volt Switch. I know that I will survive this cross chop just barely here. And that Volt Switch registers, we simul KO, and I win because I still have Pokemon remaining. Very interesting team for my opponent. Okay, a lot of Dragonite leads. These were very common pretty much at the start of the league rotation. Shadow Dragonite in the lead especially. Now, you see me going for Brutal Swing here in a neutral scenario. That's because at this point in time, I had not looked up the simulations, and for some reason I thought that Brutal Swing was more energy efficient. So that is a slight misplay on my part. Thunder Punch literally only does 1 more damage though, so they're very comparable there. That Mega Horn from Escavalier does an insane amount of damage, but I know my Trevenant's going to be stuck against something not very favorable. They actually bring out a Walrein here to absorb this damage, so now I just have to be careful that I don't accidentally throw an Earthquake on the Dragonite, and that's exactly what my opponent was trying to do. Good counting on their part, attempting that catch. But because they shield this, I can just punish with another Icicle Spear, and they concede the match there, so we were able to maintain that good position there. Good game. Walrein in the lead, not ideal, but I definitely have some options here. I can attempt to catch a move on my own wall rain, or I can stay in knowing that I win CMP here. However, they do not have to shield the first one, and I definitely do need to. So here I noticed that they were throwing on the CMP tie, so I'm able to make this catch on my wall rain, counting to 5. They have a Venusaur in the back, not good, but wall rain still does outpace Venusaur, but Frenzy Plant is far more threatening than Icicle Spear is. So I have to let this Frenzy Plant go. It is enough to take me out, but I still have my Ampharos for their wall rain. Farming up as much as possible here and then forcing the CMP tie. I know that Trevenant is going to win it. I have a lot of energy stored on my Trevenant still. Out comes a Charizard, and now I know that Ampharos is going to have so much play in this matchup here. They do end up shielding that. That's totally okay. Now, Blast Burn is very threatening, but so is Earthquake. They actually bait me with Dragon Claw. Really nice play. This is one scenario where I guess having Thunder Punch is really nice here because it's a cheaper move that does hit for super effective on both of the remaining Pokemon. They're able to reach a Blast Burn. I do not have a Shadow Ampharos for Ultra League, but I kind of like normal Ampharos. You're able to resist or survive a Blast Burn fairly comfortably. They do get to an Icicle Spear here, and I need to be able to farm down this wall rain just in time before they reach a move, and we're able to take that game there. Good game. This is the dream lead. We need to make sure that we keep alignment here. Out comes a Magnezone, and this is definitely a surprise, so I want to try to get a shield advantage here and then bring my Ampharos in here. Now the nice thing is that I also have Wall Rain in the back, which has play against Swampert as well. So even if this Magnezone ends up taking me out, that's totally fine. I have 2 responses to that Swampert. So I'm letting all this damage go through, and I will throw a Brutal Swing. It's unlikely that they would go down 2 shields. They're able to bring in their Swampert and get an energy advantage, but Trevenant shuts all that down unless for some reason they're running Sludge Wave. Shadow Magnezone is a really interesting pick, or just Magnezone in general in the Ultra League right now. There's a lot of flyers and a lot of wall rain. Obviously, you're going to really struggle against the fighters and the Swamperts everywhere, but kind of a unique pick. And they end up having a Lowland Sandslash in the back, so they're running Double Steel. Swampert Double Steel, but a really unique variation of this. I can set myself up for a nice farm down with my wall rain here, and then because this team is double strong against Swampert, we're looking pretty good. If you see a Swampert in the lead, it's unlikely that you will lose that game because switch advantage is not as important for you. So we're able to maintain that matchup there. Okay, Escavalier in the lead. This is definitely where you want to see it. They swap into wall rain. You do have to be fairly quick to your response with this Ampharos, and it seems like every wall rain seems to bait in this matchup, which means that they're going to be able to get shields. Yes, they do bait me here, and I'm just going to throw this Thunder Punch and see where they want to spend their shields. I've tried farming this down before, but you do have to end up shielding twice, so I will commit my shield here. At least I was able to get a shield off of them. Out comes the Escavalier again, and here I mistakenly throw Brutal Swing again because I still had not looked at the Sims, but they do end up throwing their energy here, which is really good for me. In the back is an Alolan Muck, and I'm down a shield. Not great. I really need to be able to successfully land an Earthquake on this Alolan Muck. However, I was a little bit slow to this response, and because of that, I believe they're able to reach a Dark Pulse here. They were able to get to 2 Dark Pulses. I lose the CMP tie, and I concede the match at that point. Well played to my opponent. A Milotic in the lead, and then a Blaziken on the swap. This is a very spicy team comp from my opponent here. They end up shielding the Shadow Ball on their Blaziken. Now, I know that I will survive a Blaze Kick, but it does massive damage to Trevenant, and I don't really have a great response to this Blaziken. I know the counters are resisted. That does so much damage. I am making all sorts of questionable decisions here. I stored up all that energy on my Trevenant, and then I swapped in. I still had to commit my final shield. Out comes my low tick once again. I'm wondering if this is double fire with like a Charizard in the back, because they're bringing out a water type onto my electric type, which is pretty interesting. Or they're just fully sacrificing it, knowing that it doesn't have play against the Trevenant. That also could be a choice. But it is, in fact, a Charizard in the back. The thing with Ampharos is that you do not resist, or the thing with my low tick is that you, the thing with Ampharos is that you don't resist a water type damage, which makes sense why they brought it into Chip. Walrein can easily survive this Blast Burn, no problem. And we can get to this this Icicle Spear to take out this Charizard and take that game there. Good game. Trevenant into Gyarados. So we're kind of, we have arguably two better responses in the back to this Gyarados. So I'm going to go into my softer counter to the Gyarados. But Gyarados has neutral play against this entire team. Obviously, Ampharos does massive damage to the Gyarados being double weak to electric. But you still take neutral damage from all the Gyarados' moves here. They're going to throw out Crunch. I will shield it up. And then they swap into Snorlax. Snorlax, especially a Shadow Snorlax here, is going to be pretty difficult to deal with. Luckily, I do get a shield there. I pretty much need as much chip damage as possible because they're definitely going to farm me down here. And then I have a tough decision to make. The thing with this Snorlax is that the charge moves are not threatening to Trevenant at all. So with a Snorlax with loaded energy, I opt to bring in my Trevenant. Nothing they can throw at me is going to do any damage here. I'm able to get to another Seed Bomb. And then if they end up shielding this, my Ampharos up a shield should have some good play against whatever they have in the back. They swap the Gyarados. I banked a Seed Bomb on my Trevenant. But they're going to be able to get a Body Slam off. I end up no shielding that and save my shield for whatever they have in the back. But it's a Steelix out of all the possible things that could be in the back. This makes sense, though, because this is a very hard shutdown to electric types. So this is not good at all. Luckily, if I had Focus Blast here, I'd be able to do massive damage. So this is another case to be made of having Focus Blast. I'm trying to get as much chip damage as I can get here. But I make a huge mistake. I should have stayed in and hoped that I would have been able to reach that Brutal Swing before getting farmed down. It would have been really close, though. I know Trevenant wins the CMP tie at the end, but my opponent's able to take that game there. Good game. Another Dragonite in the lead, so I go into Ampharos as my safe swap here. And they end up bringing in Escavalier. This is a very common pairing with Dragonite in the lead and then Escavalier in the back. And the whole point of this team as well is to try to bait out a potential hard counter to your Walrein. And that's what Ampharos has been doing a lot when you're able to use it as the safe swap. Now with my Trevenant here, if I could shield the big move of this Escavalier, farm all the way down, I'll have a lot of energy to threaten that Dragonite. And that's what I'm going to opt to do here. The Mega Horn, we learned from the previous match, does an insane amount of damage. So let's see what they opt to bring in here. They bring out the Dragonite once again. I'm going to throw the Shadow Ball. And I can potentially get off two moves here, but they actually totally sacrifice it. And now I just need to hopefully get to two Seed Bombs here, and then landing one of them will put it in Earthquake range. I actually made this swap here because I thought that they were going to throw immediately, and they were at 5 Powder Snows. But no, they opted to overfarm. And so I was not able to catch a move, but I'm still going to be able to get to an Earthquake here. They end up shielding this. I know that I'm one Shadow Claw off from a Seed Bomb. So if they somehow stack back-to-back Icicle Spears here, I would have lost the game. But we're able to reach this Earthquake and knock out the Wall Rain and come back from that difficult lead there. Good game. Trevenant Mirror Match. Now, because my Trevenant has such high attack IVs, I typically win the CMP tie here. So I go straight for the Shadow Ball. Every single Trevenant I face in the lead has shielded this first move. So there definitely is a case to be made that you should bait. I end up no shielding their Seed Bomb, and then I know that I'd be able to get to a Seed Bomb here. They're opting to go for the farm down. They have very little health here. So I actually end up coming in the Wall Rain. I can tank this, no problem. They end up going for the Shadow Ball, that's fine. What do they have in the back for this Wall Rain here? A Crustle. That is also another really spicy off-meta pick for all the Charizards and Wall Rain that are around. I chip it with an Icicle Spear, and then I go into my Ampharos here. I'm wondering what they have in the back. Potentially a Charizard. They're staying in here and chipping me with damage. I felt like this was just going to be another X-Scissor, so they must be really weak to this Ampharos in the back. Again, I should be throwing Thunder Punch here. Does slightly more damage, but I knock it out anyways. It's actually a Lapras in the back. So I throw 2 Volt Switches and then queue up my charge move here for optimal timing. But again, if I had like Focus Blast here, that would be a nice nuke. I do have 2 Thunder Punches stacked back to back here, so I can easily throw these. I know Ampharos does win the CMP tie against the Lapras. And see you later, Lapras. We're able to take that game there. Here's the video of me reaching Veteran. Did this a couple days ago, and I think I fast forwarded through all the items that I got here. But got the shoes. So now we are pushing for Expert here. Swampert in the lead. You absolutely love to see this. And a Charizard on the swap. If you can align Ampharos against those flyers, it's very, very powerful. And once again, because I'm a normal Ampharos, I'm not too threatened by that Blast Burn. I let the damage go through. I already know that they're going to hard farm me with Swampert, so I want as much energy banked. If they farm me all the way down, which they most likely do, I will get to 2 Brutal Swings. But having Focus Blast here would be really nice for some solid neutral damage as well. What is in the back? It could be a Wall Rain. That's a very common team. Swampert, Wall Rain, Charizard. It's actually a team that I ran for a little bit as well. Did not have too much success with it. You'll see that in an upcoming video. I got totally outplayed all over the place and made tons of mistakes, but that's a pretty solid team and very common team as well, having 2 Pokemon in the back that can beat the grass types. So this Wall Rain has no more shields. I need to land 2 Earthquakes on it. I will shield up this first move, because that's most likely when they go for the big nuke. And at this point, we're looking really good once again. Again, this team does very well against Swampert, as long as your Ampharos is not switch locked against it. But you still have Brutal Swing to be able to hit for neutral damage. I knew that they were going to attempt a catch at some point, so I held on to my energy. Now I can safely reach this Earthquake and take the game there. Good game. Trev into Charizard. We have 2 better responses to this in the back, so we will use our Ampharos pivot, and we are stuck against the Swampert. So that's okay. They do have to go for Earthquake if they're wanting to one-shot us. Otherwise, it's going to take 2 Hydro Cannons to knock out. And you can see they were actually threatened by a potential Focus Blast there, which is why they shielded. So now I have a shield advantage. It doesn't really matter how much energy they farm here, because I know that my Trevenant is going to get aligned to this. And Trevenant does have access to Shadow Ball, as we know, which hits for a lot of neutral damage against that Charizard. They end up switching in their Wall Rain here. So I'm going to go for the Seed Bomb and go for another Seed Bomb here. This was actually a CMP tie. and they totally sacked their wall rain. I know that Charizard's going to come back in, so I need to switch out of this. But our switch clocks are about 30 seconds desynced now, which is very scary. I really should have shielded this blast burn. I thought with 2 shields up that they were going to try to go for a bait, and then I lose the CMP tie here. Everything wrong is happening right now. But I'm able to get to this Icicle Spear. I really need to get rid of this Charizard, so I throw this Icicle Spear immediately once again. My Trevenant is pretty low. It's getting close to Hydro Cannon range. There comes the Swampert. And at this point, I have to hope that I can have enough energy coming out of this, but there's just no way. If I would have shielded that Hydro, the Charizard could just come in and bank 2 Dragon Claws and win anyways. I do commit to the farm down though, but I have the Shadow Ball stored, and look at this. Trevenant loses CMP to Charizard. I did not realize that at all. I really thought Trevenant would have won that CMP tie, but their Charizard's able to take it and they win that game. Good game. Swampert in the lead. They pivot to Wall Rain. We go immediately into our Ampharos. But once again, they're typically going to bait in this matchup, and they can get 2 shields off of my Ampharos here if they go for that route. There's the bait. I cannot farm this down. Oh man, I really should have learned. Oh my goodness. Oh man, I'm really glad I kept this battle in the video, because that is about as bad as you could possibly play that there. Holy cow. I do get a really nice farm down with my with my Wall Rain here. I'm going straight for the Earthquake. Is this a good play? They end up no shielding, so that's fine. But oh my goodness, that is so bad. I lost switch advantage and I went down a shield. I no shield that move, anticipating that it'd be a Hydro Cannon. Are they going to let Swampert go? They do. In the back is a Charizard. This is so bad for me because I'm down a shield. I need to burn both their shields, but they know that I have a Trevenant in the back. So they probably no shield this one. And then I need to swap to my Trevenant immediately. And I have to call a bait. Thank goodness they went for Dragon Claw, because now my Shadow Claws are doing enough damage where I can shield this and then easily Shadow Claw or force them to burn all their energy here. If this is a Dragon Claw, I might barely survive. No, it's just enough, but the Icicle Spear, the Powder Snow takes it out, and we win that game despite playing terribly. But champ in the lead, this is the dream. We don't have a direct response to a Shadow Snorlax. Now, Superpower is pretty threatening against Wall Rain, but it's unlikely that they throw it on the first move. So I will shield up this. They're going straight Body Slam. I farm up to a lot of energy here, and then I will queue up this Icicle Spear. But this Snorlax is so awkward to deal with. I'm going to go for Earthquake here, hope that they no-shield it. But they do shield it. I'm making all the wrong calls in this video. Oh my goodness. And we're going to lose switch advantage here. And we have a Snorlax that's going to be really awkward to deal with. They end up swapping in their Machamp. I'm wondering if they're running Payback. So I think I do end up shielding. It's just a Rock Slide though. I need a lot of energy coming out of this to guarantee that I can throw a Seed Bomb on that Snorlax and get rid of it. The licks will add up, but the energy from the Snorlax is not threatening at all. So I overfarm a little bit, gonna throw the Seed Bomb. What do they have in the back? They let the Snorlax go. It's a Swampert in the back. So the reason that they pivoted out like that is because they had another response to an Ampharos in the back. But that was really risky of them, allowing me to keep my Trevenant alive. Because now there's just no way that the Swampert's going to have enough energy to get rid of my Ampharos and the Trevenant here. So we will be able to take this game. Thank you everyone so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you appreciate the content. Best of luck with your battles and your climb in GBL, and we'll see you all in the next video.